Let's do it.
we've talked about this, you and I, about how men's skincare is often sold as fundamentally different. The formulas are different, and we know the truth. When biologically the differences between a man's skin and a woman's skin are fairly modest, like minimally thicker skin, like I don't know how much thicker. I need to ask ChatGPT that question.
25%.
25% thicker,
hmm
and there's a bit more oil, I guess, because the skin is thicker. There's more glands. Like, from a chemist perspective, what actually needs to change in a formula for it to be more suited to a man's skin than a woman's skin?
Yeah, so I would say that there's more psychological differences that matter.
Mm,
And so there's obviously the mechanical portions, like we shave. So and we also tend to be a bit more rougher, and that's why we don't live as long as women. But like we do crazy things, so we're more likely to have things that are going to irritate our face. So there's those differences, but I think a lot of it's psychological. I think if men's skin was identical to women's, we would still like lighter products. That is prone to changing over time. It could,
mm,
that could be like a social thing that changes over time. But generally speaking, men just like lighter products. They are generally not a fan of having any kind of a sheen or a shine. Plenty of them do, but I think generally speaking, they prefer something very light, very fast absorbing. They don't want to feel like they're wearing much of anything. And so I could tell you, I can't speak to everybody's formulation philosophy. I could speak to mine.
yeah.
And for me, I was taking into account things like what men like and what I know they like. So I looked at products that I know men purchase that aren't just secret drugstore products. One of them was I think Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream does a really good job, very light, very fast absorbing. And then I also like the feel of Belief, the moisture bomb. And so
Mm,
I use those as kind of inspirations for the moisturizer. And I wanted to make something that had really good active ingredients. And I thought, hey, we shave, we got a lot of irritation. So I looked to make something that is lighter. And I also, which was like, the influence my choices for the, I don't want to get too fancy with the terms, and but like the rheology modifier, it's like the gelling agent in the product helps to
okay.
make it feel lighter while making it a bit more substantial. And I had put in, like good silicones, cyclomethicone, dimethicone. And then for the soothing side, because we shave, I put in bisabolol, which is a chemical that is in chamomile.
Chamomile, yeah.
Yep.
It's the active component of chamomile.
Yeah, exactly. And the only reason that's in there is because, again, taking into account men's skin and how we are a bit more prone to do things like work outside and shave our face and that. But it's you don't like it, we know this. You don't have to use a man's product to, like, as a guy. Like, I used tons and tons of not even gender neutral, but just like straight, pretty packaging women's products. I like the Tatcha moisturizer too. That's a good one. But I make things for like male preference, what they tend to be, and
Mm.
so that is what was my kind of philosophy when it came to
So it comes
making
down
products.
to sensorial.
Yeah, exactly, sensorial. And then also at the end of the day, because I'm very deep into like following a lot of different creators in the space, and so
Mm.
I'll see posts all the time talking about men's skincare and how like you don't need men's skincare, which again is true. You don't need it. But I also am a strong believer that sometimes you need to meet people where they're at, and sometimes people just want to have something that they feel like represents them or is for them, and even just something as simple as seeing like manly packaging in their bathroom. So
Yeah. Is this manly packaging?
I think it's pretty manly.
I think it's pretty manly. This Pantone blah 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 blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the moisturizer. I told you that I loved this moisturizer. I love the level of active